I want to have a quick conversation about why I don't pray every day. Why I refuse to pray every day. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Now, I know some people say they go hand in hand, but spirituality is you doing things your way to connect with God in your own unique path, in your own unique journey. So you connect to God in the things that are natural to God. And that's where your resourcefulness comes from when it comes to having a communication or a connection or a divine understanding of God's energy. So the reason why I don't pray every day, everybody has their own opinion. But if you're religious and you pray and you pray and you pray, the way I look at that is I don't want to be so needy to God because I'm empathetic to even God. So even though I know He says, lay your burdens down, die for our sins, blah, 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 I feel like there's millions and millions and millions of people in this world praying and asking God for something every single day. To me, I look at God as He says that we are walking in His image. When people constantly come at you with things and need and need and need and need and want and want and want, it weighs your energy down. It gets heavy on you to the point to where you feel like, well, when is somebody gonna pour into me? So our version of pouring into God would be going into nature, going to a park, seeing some trash on the ground, pick it up, throw it in the trash, even if it's not yours. This is giving back to God. You know, the things that keep His natural world in order, it's giving back to God. When you plant vegetables, fruits, plants, anything that gets rooted into the natural earth and you speak life over it, you breathe life over it, you pour life into it, you let the sunlight touch it, and then it grows into the nature, you're giving back energy to God. When you ground yourself and you stand by a tree with health benefits for that matter, you're causing a 360 effect of energy going from your feet to your head in a rotation. I feel like just God waking me up in the morning is the blessing for me. And I don't pray every day because when I wake up in the morning, He knows my internal thoughts before I could even say anything. So He knows I'm grateful for every day. But that's the one thing that I do speak to God about almost every single day, is I thank Him for waking me up this morning. Everything else is just God's divine timing on what happens and doesn't happen with my life. I'm in control of trying to make the wonderful things happen in my life that we all consider successful, or being at peace with yourself. And I work on my inner peace every day, and people think making the most money is everything to them, and they lose sight of the family. They lose sight of you're not having any time for the ones that really need your time. Whether it's your kids, your grandparents is super old and ain't seen you in years. You don't have no time to even go visit, even like for a week or two out the year, if y'all live in different states or whatnot. So since I'm so empathetic with God, I feel like I don't want to pull His energy down or be one of the ones that's doing that, even though it's okay if that's what you do, because that's your journey, that's your spiritual journey. I just have my own ways of doing things. So instead of praying all the time, I meditate. I try to get God's answers through being quiet, silent, listening to water rolling, animals singing, birds chirping, just the natural forms of nature, the wind blowing. I feel the wind, and I stand next to a tree with my socks and my shoes off, and I ground myself, and then I put my feet into the water on top of some seaweed or something, thing that just naturally grew in the water, and I stand on it, and I just sit there and I just let the elements talk to me. Sometimes I get ringing in my ear. I've had outer body experiences. I've had signs come to me. I've seen those alien lights that everybody speaks of. I've seen those at 6 years old. I got a book called The Encounters, and it's in the link in my bio if anybody's interested in going to purchase it and reading it. If anybody donates a coffee, or buy me a coffee, I'll send it to you. Just send me your email. Now, I do want to say I would love for y'all to like, comment, subscribe on this post if you're interested in reading this book, because it's very enlightening. I talk about my whole spiritual journey, how I found all my lineage all the way back to 1800 and all the way back to the 1100s. I have the people in my family listed. So I can try to help guide other people to doing this. And a lot of people will charge you for this, but they're frauds. They'll charge you for this, but they're frauds. Your best way to find your lineage is to go into the family that you don't have no idea about. You might not even talk to them. Talk to your parents and find out who's the oldest person still living in y'all's family, whether it's an aunt, uncle, cousin, anybody. But make sure it's a direct line of your parent, and try to find the oldest person you can find that might have been storing up anything, and just start asking people, do you got anything about our family stored up or put in the archives or shoved up in your closet somewhere that you've been keeping track of? Like, just start asking your oldest family members. Get on findagrave.com, search your oldest family member, and then look at the family members that's connected to them that you don't know, that might be from a different state and city. Start asking them questions. They might even be posting things about their branch of the family that's tied into yours. But to get back to the point, I feel like we put a lot on God with our neediness. When you get on your knees as a Muslim 5 times a day, I understand it. It's your religion. Do what you do. I am not a follower of religion, so I just do it my own way. When Christians pray, it's a lot of asking for things, whether it's just to, help you get a job, help you, grow your business, help you become wealthy, or help you take care of these kids, or help you get your car fixed. Or I'm not saying that everybody's always asking for material things, but even just asking and needing, being so needy for God's energy, He's already giving it to you every day when you wake up. Just outside, get outside, connect with nature. Like, He's giving you His energy every day. Every day. Meditation. My belief system is the closest to Buddhism, but I'm not Buddhist. I'm strictly indigenous mindset. Before we had books to read and anything, we was going off of the cosmos, the universe, and nature, and all the elements and the energy that gives us. Herbs, the animals, however we needed to live naturally. That's my belief system. And I know this world today doesn't give us the opportunity to keep that intact as it should be. But I will say, learn how to be silent and block out anything around you. This is one of the biggest, biggest things you can do. When I take people to go meditate, one of the biggest things that they tell me is I can't concentrate because there's too many noises going around me. I'm too worried about the things going on around me. I mean, look at me, for God's sakes. I know that's why it took a long time for me to be able to get into my full meditation state when I meditate outside, to the point to where I can sleep outside and not worry about what's finna happen to me, because whatever happens is God's timing. I start looking at life like that instead of being worried and so anxious and nervous and having these different type of feelings about all the noises that I hear around me while I'm meditating or I'm sleeping outside. I just let it go. I've had flocks of animals, geese with their babies, and they are very protective over their babies, and they'll walk right next to me while I'm on the ground or while I'm standing in the water, and they will swim right next to me. And I'm at this park so much that they know I'm not a disturbance to their children. I'm not harmful to their babies. They will just, 50 geese and 50 babies will walk right next to me in the midst of me meditating or sitting by myself just thinking. But when I meditate, I try to block out all sound, noise, anything, and I just try to directly connect to God with the sun right on my skin and with nature all around me. Even if I'm in an empty field where I can block out, I can't hear anything but me and God, which is what I try to do. But you can't always do that. You're not always in the area to do that. But I encourage people to at least try meditation. Try to be intentional with your meditation, but try not to make it needy. Don't meditate in need. Meditate in understanding, alignment, enlightenment, inner growth. Don't meditate with what you need in mind, or what you're going to do, or what you need to try to do, or what next level you're trying to get to in life. Block everything out and just be. Try to just meditate to the point where you just are there. You're just present with Him. You're present with the energy. And I shouldn't say Him, but the energy. Just be present with it. Just align with it. Just connect to it. It's a divine resource to be next to every vein that you have in your body. Your neurological system is the same look of trees up under the ground. You are a plant, a tree. This is why we need sunlight. We need sunlight. Everyone isn't able to inherit the strength and the abilities and the things that come with getting the sunlight. Some people's anatomy and biology reject it. But all humans, in some way, shape, or form, benefit off of nature. So all I'm going to say is, if whatever you do to make yourself a better person works, I encourage it. I recommend it. Keep doing it. Whether that's Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, whatever it is that you are. Methodist, Baptist, anything. If it makes you a better person, do it. But I will say the reason why I turned from religion and never claimed a religion is because I've seen the way people turn their faces up when there's a debate on religious beliefs. But in every single book I should say, that y'all read, it tells you that you are not capable of judging anybody else. But yet, when you speak to people about religion, and people are of different religions, they're debating what's right and what's wrong. It's not your job to debate what's right or what's wrong. It's your job to encourage people to do whatever makes them a better person, whatever makes them warm in the heart, good inside, care for other people, care for humanity, have common sense when it comes to nature. There are children out here doing horrible things to animals because they're not even competent, because they haven't been taught how wonderful and valuable certain things in nature is. So you have to understand, cruelty to animals is even a form of devilish ways, even if it comes from a child, because as parents, as grandparents, there should have been something instilled in you to let you know that that's an evil, devilish thing to do. And I shouldn't even say devilish, because, in the books, it doesn't say the devil ever harmed anybody. He put things inside of people to harm people, or animals, or nature. He put something in you and took control of your avatar to make you do the things that you do that harm people. But it never says that the devil physically did anything to anybody. So this is where you have the freedom of choice. You're going to be one with the light or one with the darkness. You're going to turn to the darkness for financial gain, or you're going to stay the light and keep your spirit right, your morals, principles, your values, if you have any. But I don't get into religious debates, because what works for you doesn't work for this person or me. So I take it upon myself to teach leadership, inner development of yourself, not allowing someone to train and program your mind to think the way they think. I had somebody tell me that outer body experiences was evil. Their pastor told them it was evil. First off, that's a divine connection to God for some people. Answers come through that type of activity through some people. Some people have died on a deathbed and came back to life and had an outer body experience, even had the plug pulled on them and they came back to life. I know somebody personally, the plug was pulled on and she came back too from being brain dead. So I'm telling y'all, you can't listen and go to these big crowds of people, and that's another thing I don't do. I don't try to connect to God in crowds of people, because different energies can be disrupted my connection to him, or the energy, or the universe. I don't like trying to connect to God in a building, because I don't want a roof over my head. I should have the sky and everything in nature around me, because that's his natural things he created before he even put animals and human beings on the earth. But to each his own. God bless y'all. Keep going on your journey, whatever that may be. If it makes you a better person, amazing. If you are struggling with some demons, I've been there. I've done it. I've overcome it. And I'm still working on things in my life. I'm not perfect, but I know that I am about 98% good. And there's about a 2% of me that I need to work on. But I feel like I'm definitely one of the blessings and the lights of this earth and one of the chosen. And I thank God every day for making me such. Peace and love.